Hello, hello, Acolights. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're back here again after proving our innocence for the second time in a row. I didn't know that we had to be proven so innocent so many times, especially when one of the deaths was literally our best friend. And no one believed us. No one.
Glancing over
We were
my
accused.
records of the late last
Oh my
century,
god, it's voice
I am
acted.
faced by the events of a certain bitter winter.
How
A
bitter,
murder
though?
in a carriage, as it sped through dense London fog.
What does this have to do
in
with the cold?
Dead of night.
What does this have to do with how cold it was?
Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself.
Oh, people on top and in the front?
None could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner.
How'd it end,
My
though?
friend, Mr. Sholmes, once said
Oh,
of the
God.
incident
Herlock Sholmes is gonna be around again.
that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together.
Oh my god. It's confirmed. We're going to be spending a lot of time with Herlock Sholmes. Oh my god, it's animated. Sholmes is gonna be with us.
Amazing. Is this really just a
Where's
real
9 3/4, huh? When you gonna tell us where 9 3/4 is?
Never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives. This country is incredible.
Ryunosuke sounds nothing how I imagined he'd sound like.
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
Why? Are they supposed to have British accents?
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure.
Why? Yeah, why do they have, like... She 100% has a British accent, and I'm pretty sure Ryunosuke
From abroad, eh?
almost does.
Thought so.
But they're
Well
Japanese.
then, I hope you enjoy
Like,
your
they're
stay.
canonically Japanese. Why
And welcome
why are they British?
to the center of the
I don't...
world.
I'm not...
Great Britain's
I don't get-
mighty capital, London.
Ooh, look at that tower. Look at that building. Wait. Was that the Eiffel Tower and the White House? Or am I going crazy? I could have sworn that's what I saw. 18th February, 9:21 a.m. British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice Office. What's up? I know you weren't expecting me, but you got me. Yeah, I'm here. I'm ready for the... What an incredible place. It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. This place is breathtaking. It looks like a fortress. Look at it! You're inside of a gigantic clock tower. How would this not look epic to you? There's some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course. But they've only been built in the few short decades since we've opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree? A far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from. It's certainly unfamiliar. I'm not sure about all the grinding gears. I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. I don't know, Ryunosuke, you'd need a ton of steel to build that. Or maybe copper. What are old gears made out of? Brass? Some common materials, probably. But steel, most likely. Look at those. They're gleaming. Maybe the one on the left is gold. What is this place again? This is the Lord Chief Justice Office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain. The Lord Chief Justice. We had instructions to report here at this time, if circumstances were different. We were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. but Kazuma can't. I've said it before. It's my pet theory that Kazuma had something so important to do here that he had to fake his own death to do it. Headcanon, still alive. He's still alive, Ryunosuke. You gotta not give up hope. You didn't see his dead body. You didn't see his dead body after they took it away. No. So, instead, we're here in a different capacity. As envoys, to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death. Yeah. And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done. So, we'd have to return to Japan. If we want to remain here in Great Britain, I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour. Precisely. Which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer. Remember the 3 months we spent studying on the ship just now? I know it doesn't seem like much because the scene instantly changed, but trust me, we went through a lot, so you should know a lot, and oh my god, if you fail this, I'm going to strangle you. Which is what I've been studying for. Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So that's the second reason why we're here, to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way that we'll be able to remain here in London. I hope I'm up to scratch. Good morning. Sorry for keeping you. Who is it? What do you look like? Oh. I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan. It seems I'm off 1 hour, 12 minutes and 47... Oh, I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes and 47 seconds late. My apologies. Oh, no. Don't mention it. We're never happier than we're standing around with nothing much to do. How fortunate. So, introductions. I am Mail Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. And I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Or maybe you should have a commanding old man's voice. I'll try it. I'll see how I feel. Come on, Mr. Naruhodo, don't be a mouse. Oh, did I say that out loud? It's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Fully Japanese in nature. Don't ask why I've got a British accent. Well, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. Yes, thank you. Man, that was a screenshot if I've ever seen one. Oh, we are still... Wait, can I present you? Oh, no! I can only present him with that one. Let me examine some stuff around here first, though. Look at these menacing metal giants facing each other across the room. Those are just suits of armor, man. I believe they're suits of armor. You get me, Susato. You get me. We got a connection here. Right. I thought maybe they were like the lion dogs we have in Japan guarding shrine gates. No, not at all. In fact, in Europe, suits of armor like these are always possessed by evil spirits, you know. Good to know. And they roam around in the middle of the night. Really? Is there nothing you don't know, Miss Susato? This book tells me everything I need to know about everything, right when I need it. If you're ever unsure, just ask. Yeah, her little book, it has literally the secrets of the universe. We've been over this. It like the title of the book is 42, simply the number. Where did she get that incredible tome? Alright, so we looked at the statues. Let's look at the desk. This must be the Lord Chief Justice's desk. I believe it's made of marble. It looks more like an over-the-top tombstone that's toppled over to me. I think that's your fanciful imagination at work again, Mr. Naruhodo. Feels like everything that's normally made of wood and paper at home is made of bricks and stone here. I know. That's why this place feels so overbearing, I'm sure. Yeah, that kind of has to be it. Oh my god, there's so much we could click on. We could click on the gears, we could click on the candles. Sure. Just look at all the naughty books packed together on these shelves. They go from floor to ceiling. Oh, it was the books I was clicking on. Totally. That's what I meant to click on. And they're all books that you couldn't hope to come by in Japan. It's like a dream. Yeah, a very bad dream. I was just nose deep in book for 3 months, Susato. They're not all about British law either. There are books about the judicial systems of other Western nations. France, Germany, Spain, Holland. What about Russia? Why do you ask? Listen, I was just curious about if they knew how to say wardrobe in Russian. You know, typical stuff. I wasn't insinuating anything, if that's what you're thinking. I think perhaps it's a thought best abandoned. Okay. Still harsh ties with Russia. Harsh ties with... I understand. I fully understand. Let's look at the gears. Is this some kind of clock? Actually, I think we might be inside of some sort of giant clock. But those gears are larger than anything you'd find on a steam locomotive, even. It's eerie. Do you think clocks are some sort of hobby of his? The Lord Chief Justice, I mean. Well, boys do enjoy fiddling around with machines, don't they? I'm not sure you could fiddle with cogs that size, and I'm certain you couldn't call him a boy. Still, it's amazing how little noise the cogs make, considering how large they are. There's actually something soothing about their precise rhythm. Yeah, I mean, listen, you're one of two types of people. Either the ticking of a clock will drive you absolutely insane, or the ticking of a clock is the most peaceful thing ever, and you'll see it'll just like lure you to sleep. You just kind of have to figure out which one you are, and sometimes it's a mix of both. You can definitely be both. Is there nothing else I can look at? Just a ton of books. But let's look at the right side. Is there anything? No. Okay, so we've done everything. G. Nope, that is not the right options. Z. Yeah, it's Z. Okay. What's up, sir? Lionheart, sir? Strongheart. Lionheart, Steelheart, Strongheart, whatever kind of heart you got, man.
So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London?
Oh, help! I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city. It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh?
We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say, I'm almost lost for words.
I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water and gas, even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded.
Oh, yes, astounded is the word. Thanks for saving me there, Susato-san. And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor.
Yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition we'll be hosting here in London.
Great exhibition?
Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history, and will make the Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop.
Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be.
Even more magnificent than my office. Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world.
Even if you do say so yourself.
The sun will never set on our great empire. Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. Who we will be known as the greatest forever, until our direct offspring shall take over the title of greatest. Although that's a story for another time.
Alright, yes, law student, I apologize. Lord Chief Justice, I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you?
Absolutely, as far as I can recall. A Mr. Kazuma Sogi, if my memory serves.
That's right.
The British government has already been telegraphed a full report of the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. That's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived. It's almost like we can telegraph stuff now. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours.
Oh, thank you.
And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news?
Yes, but also no. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person.
They tell me you Japanese are a people of protocol and courtesy, and I see it's true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means this study tour arrangement can no longer proceed.
If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart.
Oh? What do you have to say, madame?
It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal.
Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo, do go on. Let my piercing gaze relax you. Go ahead, speak, son.
This is it. The moment of truth. I can do it. I have precisely 3 months and 4 weeks worth of knowledge about law. I think I would make an excellent lawyer. The thing is, Lord Justice and Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you were considering allowing the study tour to go ahead?
Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead. But without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done, honestly.
Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean.
Oh? It seems you're referring to something. Perhaps referencing. A reference that I am not understanding. I'm gonna need you to explain it, son. Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country, and that was Mr. Asogi. At least, that is what I've been led to understand.
Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man. He's so intimidating. Mr. Naruhodo, I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I gonna say? If there's someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer... Actually, no, never mind. I decided to just go home. I'm sorry. It's been nice knowing you, Mr. Strong, Brave, Steelheart. Not really gonna need it. Mr. Sato is clearly a better lawyer than me. But in order to continue the story, it is in fact me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for this knowledge. I can do it!
Is that so?
I said it. I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but...
No qualifications, you say? And still you claim to be a lawyer?
I just love that first sentence.
No qualifications, you say? Sign me up, you can have it.
I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. And I had Kazuma to help me. And I was the accused. But glossing over the details.
One case is better than no cases.
I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Burya.
The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, Japan, inferior country, that one. It's all about Britain, Britain, I say. Not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training.
I realize it's far too short a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan.
And why is that?
Kazuma, Mr. Sogi's journey had only just begun. Coming here on the study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance, that's all I'm asking for. Please!
31 seconds.
Sorry?
Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo, it was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in a good stead as a lawyer.
Oh, thanks. I get. Oh.
So you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment.
Huh?
But let me ask you one thing first, sir.
Yeah? What's up?
You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? Are you willing to become the secret warlord we need you to be?
Sorry, what?
Oh yeah, about that. We had planned for Mr. Asogi to lead the Rebel Alliance against the Queen. I'm sure you have no problem with this, yes?
Well, yeah, that is my intention. I do. If I have to be a warlord, I guess I'll do that. Yeah.
I see.
Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden? Did he get... Wait, what? Did he just get that little tiny mark to the right of his lip? Is that like the indication of a slight smile? Is he smiling at us? Oh, I could see. He has a favorable impression of us.
Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you.
Really? Oh, man. Ah, I didn't think I'd get this far. So what is it? What form will the test take exactly?
Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be?
Well, defending people, of course.
Precisely. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone.
What?
Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an apt trial to begin later today.
I'm so used to reading addresses that I saw APT and I was like, there's an apartment trial. And I knew that couldn't be correct. I was like, oh no, wait, apt is a word. Apt is just a word by itself.
No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, so this will be welcome news.
Today? Straight away?
Straight away. If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. What could be simpler? I mean, they did have the murder gun in their hand, and they were sealed in a room alone with the victim. But what could be simpler? Simply prove it wasn't them.
How did I get myself into these situations? Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart?
Yes. Good question. I remember. It's a murder trial.
A murder!
A murder. An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose.
That's easy to say.
But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he will of course be sentenced to capital punishment. That's just how we roll here in Britain. Anyone found guilty? Death. You stole something? Death. You killed someone? Death. You slapped my little sister across the face? Death. Of course, I mean, she kind of deserved it, but, you know, it's family. You understand.
Capital punishment? He'll be put to death?
Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably, you read that much in your short C-based introduction to British law.
We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life.
I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable. So, what's your answer?
But you can't do that, can you? He is literally the law, man. He's like he's the head of the law. The law is him. He is both himself and the law, both at the same time.
There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose.
That's easy for you to say. So the defendant may live or die depending on how well I perform in court? If I lose, he'll be hanged.
Mr. Naruhodo, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. Now's the time to prove it. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asogi? I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. Again, warlord, don't forget.
He's testing my resolve to become a warlord.
What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. By today, you see, I meant in the next 10 minutes, so come on. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be?
Yeah. Do I agree to his absurd... What do you mean, do you agree to his absurd test? What happens if we say no? We just go back home, I assume. Yeah, I'll do it. Alright then, if I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it, I can't get the words out.
15 seconds. Your decision-making skills need work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. Fast actions, fast thinking.
I was gonna say fastest done, but that's not always the correct case. Not always the thing you want to do.
So it's as I expected, is it?
Sorry?
You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through.
Yes.
The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Get the fuck out of here. Go and acquire a ticket back for the east tomorrow. This conversation is over.
Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance. Mr. Naruhodo, why the fuck didn't you just say yes, like light clicked? It would have been so much easier if you just said yes, like I said! I'm sorry, Miss Susato, but what could I do? It's alright, I understand. You do? It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it.
What are you trying to say, madame? Are you trying to imply that I am wrong in any way?
Yeah, I think what Miss Susato means is that no matter how badly I like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable, and I would feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, some kind of experiment.
Perhaps I was a bit hot-headed.
A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. I should know. I mean, I wouldn't know. I was not on trial for being a murderer or anything. I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice.
Fuck, this kid is reverse psychology-ed me. Wait, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, was there something else?
It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time.
But I just said that
I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him. Not a one. No one wanted to do it. Like I said, gun, locked room, no way anyone else could have done it, so no one else wanted to do it. What? At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. Death, you see. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down.
But that's awful.
But that is the truth. That's kind of why I threw out this whole proposal in the first place. You can't do any worse than he would do himself.
Why does it have to be like this?
Poor circumstances, I suppose. Don't expect me to answer every question. The cold hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. 'Cause I don't want to do it either.
I'm really his only hope?
So, what do you say now, madame?
Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances, and I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve.
Oh, shit. He's got us there, Mr. Naruhodo.
Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds precisely. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves. After maybe saving that guy's life. Who knows? I don't care. I'm not your mom. I'm leaving now.
He's gone. The Old Bailey. Well, time to move to the Old Bailey. If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once.
Yeah, like now.
And by leave right now, I mean converse with you. What do we do again? Mrs. Sato, can I just ask you something? Careful. From this position, I can perform a Susato takedown in an instant. I know. Mr. Naruhodo, you heard Lord Strongheart. The trial starts immediately. If I need to throw you, I will. You know, you could just say, I think we should hurry to the courtroom. Be a lot simpler. If you need to ask me anything, it had better wait until we're at the Old Bailey. No questions on the move at all. We're running there if we have to. Yeah, sure, I guess we're just moving to the Old Bailey, huh? London's highest criminal court with an illustrious past. The Old Bailey. This is where I'm to take my test and prove my worthiness.
Prove yourselves. Prove yourselves worthy to hold the title of lawyer.
18th February, 9:45 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Alright, what's going on? Who are we defending? I need to know their personality. I need to like them in order to defend them. If I don't like them, I may just not try as hard. Oh, thank goodness, we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were gonna rattle loose. I was clenching them so hard, Susato. Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Not at all. I wasn't paying attention. Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a guinea in it for you. It's one of my favorite lines from the Herlock Sholmes stories, and it works quite perfectly. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die. And we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. Yeah, I suppose there's that. Some water. Some ice that I could not avoid getting in my mouth. And some more water to wash the ice down. I'm telling you, the only taste water has should be its temperature, and the best temperature is cold. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all. Okay. Is it Sholmes? Is he on the ceiling? So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants is this defense to wait is on guard. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever's about to be sentenced. Feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed. Yes. Whoever the man you're to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment. He's going to be the happiest, he's going to be the happiest person we've ever met. Top of the morning to you, madame, sir. Oh my god, it's an actual leprechaun. What are yous doing following me here? Things are fair desperate, are they? Sorry? Would you look at those expressionless faces from the east, are yous? We're from Japan, yes. Ah, Japan, is it? Right, say no more. So, how much do yous need? No, we're just here because... No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name, and all while in a strange faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. 'Tis grand, 'tis grand! Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now. 1,000 guineas? Please, Mr. Sato, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas it's enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? It's that much? How much is a guinea? 'Tis nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I've enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. Could that much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Ah, my face! My eye! Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving you no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, 'tis a little embarrassing. The trial's about to begin, you see. It's for me, good self here. I'll be in the dock. What? So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Well, the thing is, don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand there next to me, nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial's going to start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't making it up at all. I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Who else would be here? Bluster and blazes, do you not know who I am? Me! One of London's biggest names! No, sorry, we've only just arrived in the city, you see. Oh, I see. I suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park, there in the city of London, is another beautiful park. Sorry? A park? What? 'Tis called McGilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did. An entire park? In central London? A city of smiles. That's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded. Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its queer old people. That's amazing, actually. I mean, really extraordinary. But now they've the gall to call me a nut-forgetting criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask you? All right, don't pass out on us now. Mr. Naruhodo. Perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves, while the gentleman catches his breath anyway. Good idea. Hello, Mr. Irishman. How are you? I am a Japanese, a humble Japanese, if you will. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students, on a study tour from Japan, you see. Ha! So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'll do our best. What was I after saying, you daft idiot? I've given you 1,000 guineas to just stand there next to me, haven't I? Well, yeah, but I wasn't really offering to just stand there next to you. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry? I know what you're thinking. This Chancellor of a fella seems to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it! That's the only explanation! Well, not at all. I'm sorry. Not at all! Although, it is a little strange, to be honest. Why, you don't have a lawyer, I mean. That would be the fault of the Reaper. Sorry? Did he just say Reaper? He did, Ryuhodo. Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Barak von Zeeks. He's the prosecutor. I just morphed the accent at the end there. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? When Van Zeeks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused as sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So it's reached the desperate situation where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Goodness. Lord Beric von Seeks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor, then. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madame. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? What do you mean? The defendant is summoned! And his counsel! Please make your way to the courtroom! The trial's about to begin! His counsel? That's me! That's me, guys! That's me! Oh, 'tis time! Well done, fella, don't let me down! But I don't know anything about the case! You haven't told me what happened! Until you showed your face here. I'd made up my mind, so I had. Sorry? I'd decided I'd have to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? But then you made an appearance, a student of law, wouldn't you know? 'Tis no accident, I can assure you of that. 'Tis fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. Please. Don't worry, man. You look young when your eyes are open, but in this particular image, you look aged beyond your you look aged exactly your years. I literally know nothing about the case, or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. I can't just let him hang for no reason. He donated a park, for God's sakes. Mr. Naruhodo, the man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would never have allowed to happen. Kazuma defense, what are you doing? If you're left at the start of the trial, you will lose your right to sir. Annoying. I'll be right there. Okay, let's get this started. Let's get it started in here. Ow. It's happening then. My first trial in a British court. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma, because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. It's easy. We guess until we find the proper answer, and we know to use the mouse button, so we can actually click and drag. Oh my god, this court looks so intimidating. Like, how extra do you have to be in order to have, well, I mean, a lot of courtrooms have, like, the scales, or, like, a scale motif for balance, right? But, Jesus, just having 2 bonfires? Look at those. Look at those PNG fires. They're so good. 10 a.m. Trial starting. Oh, why, hello, characters that I'll probably see throughout the series. So this is the highest court in Great Britain, the Old Bailey. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? Good work, lad. Thank you, Power. I do my best. I do my best. At least, Power. At least this time, we aren't the ones being accused of being guilty. Which is an improvement, I'd say. It's so different to the Supreme Court in Japan. It's almost official in some way. It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere makes words almost redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. It's true, Power. I'm not the one guilty this time. I'm not. I'm just defending the guilty guy this time. We don't even know if he's guilty. Who knows? He might be guilty. We don't know anything about the case yet. We're just kind of his defense in court. Just a little bit. We're just defending him in court, and we also have nothing about him or the case. May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yeah, what? What is it? I can't hear you. I'm focusing too hard. Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know, but I just can't help it. Excellent. I love how all of the judges are just old man. I'm giving him the same voice that the old judge had. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now I call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared. That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld. He also looks like a vampire. Counsel for the defense, you appear to be...
Eastern. Do you speak English? English! Let me pronunciate the words and extend my mouth to make it as clear as possible. Huh? Oh, yes, of course, sorry. What? What? I thought... Wait. In Japan... That first case, the whole thing about her speaking English, like, the point was that none of us could understand her speaking English. So why can we speak English now? Like, I thought it was weird that they were speaking English, but like, in that 2 months and 4 weeks, did they just like learn English? What the... I know they were practicing like English law, but I don't think they could learn an entire language in 2 months. But he asked if the defense was ready, and I couldn't be further from ready if I tried. Those eyes please me, Nipponese. What? How dare you call me a Nipponese? They shroud your fear note, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. A cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way to the tips of my toes. I really wish you would stop monologuing like this. Now, Mr. McGilded. Yes, my lord. You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner who may not even speak English? Well, as I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the young. Even if the fella's a student from some little island off in the Far East. Who knows? It is not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less unfortunate a fair chance. I'd like to think the acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud. Listen to Mr. McGilded. What a fine gentleman London has in him. Did you hear that he donated £5,000 to the government the other day? Mother, please may we go and play in McGilded Park? It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded. That's definitely welcome news, and he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him. Time to find out about the case and how he was literally holding the dead man. Eloquently put, Mr. McGilded, and most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed? Let's see. We have a distinguished gentleman. We have a emotionless maid. We have a con artist. We have a librarian. We have an alcoholic. And we have the Obasan. Yes, my lord. If the task is to send rotters to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready. At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree. Ha! Any criminals here will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me. Okay. Also okay. I'm fine. I'm fine with neither of them. I feel a chill. Okay. Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson. It's almost winter, you know. Actually, it is winter, or I mean, it's starting to be winter here, but the snow is annoying. I hate it. With all the fire everywhere that's in this city, you would think that snow wouldn't stick. But this has got to be some like super snow or something. Mr. Naruhodo, those people are the jury. Yes, that's something we don't have in Japan yet. we have no sense of what a jury is. That's right. I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely points of view. But how exactly did the jurors give their verdict? That I don't know, but
We'll find out. I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses. Yeah, just like everything else has been. Such as the case...
Prosecutor Van Zeeks, my lord. It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you'd renounced your fame. I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. So what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance in which the court should be aware? Ha! I'll leave that to your imagination, my lord.
So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose today of all days to make a comeback? Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo.
As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please. Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity.
We must be the only ones in here who aren't aware.
The incident took place in the late evening, 3 days past. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as Thrice Fired Mason.
Sorry? Thrice? What you mean?
He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible. I should know. He made several of my houses. The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus.
What?
The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust at the victim's abdomen is believed to have been the ultimate cause of death. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard. Thank you, counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence.
The autopsy report has been entered into court record. A report prepared by the Scotland Yard coroner. It gives the cause of death as internal hemorrhaging as a result of single stab wound to the abdomen. Yeah, I mean, a solid gut wound, and there's not much you could do. Like, even if you got immediate medical care back in the olden days, a lot of times you would just die from infection from your intestines. Yeah, as it turns out, it's not really the greatest to get poop anywhere where poop is not supposed to be. And that kind of makes you die even slower and more painfully, unfortunately. A photograph... I was about to say a photograph. A photograph of the victim taken on the omnibus. The knife in his abdomen is clearly visible, but his face is part of... Oh my god, I can't read. Let me try this whole thing over. A photograph of the victim taken on the omnibus. The knife in his abdomen is clearly visible, but his face is partly obscured from view by an old crooked hat. Okay.
And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well. And these are... Good lord! Is that blood, counsel? Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested.
What? Mr. McGilded's gloves had blood on them? There has to be a reasonable explanation.
Yes, I will accept these as evidence as well.
The defendant's leather gloves have been entered. The leather gloves the defendant was wearing at the time of the incident. There's a blood stain on the right glove. Okay. How did I get into this? I'm backed into a corner before I've even started.
Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time.
Only 2?
Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other... That guy over there, the accused Magnus McGilded.
I just made a bunch of reaction noises, hoping they would fit.
Well, rather damning circumstances to say the least. Defendant, what say you?
Well, of course, I have no recollection of such a thing.
Mr. McGilded!
To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Lilting, so it is. And when I opened my eyes again, well, 'twas a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I'd never laid arms before in my life. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fellow bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand.
So the blood got on the gloves then, after the man had been killed. Unfortunately, that statement of the driver's is only the beginning.
What? That's not all of it?
There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed.
Oh my god, she's typing it. Oh my god. She's speeding. She's either typing everything. Order! 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 Okay. She is typing away at that thing. Either she is, like, typing a fully committed fanfic, or she's typing everything that's happening in the court. Or who knows, maybe it's a mix of both. Maybe she's writing a fanfic about the court. Librarians tend to do that, you know.
When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage, and there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused.
Ah, what do you mean?
Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all.
Ooh, man.
Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once.
Oh, man. All three of these look completely untrustworthy in different ways. My name is, well, everybody calls me Beepo. I drive the omnibus in the East End.
Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city.
My name's First. Lady First. I make hats for gents.
Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Quite right.
Yes, sir. That's right, sir.
Very well, then let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw.
Yeah, what did they see? They had to have heard it, because in like the little animatic that played at the front, there was the coach driver, and then these three were like on top, weren't they? It was the last bus of the evening, so I had a few customers. I remember it well.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged the knife into his guts.
Oh, that's right. He stabbed him. I screamed, I did. I couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped the bus, and then I saw it too.
Unambiguous testimony, I must say. Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes.
I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, counsel?
Well, this testimony, it makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Why not?
Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it?
As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes.
Well, in that case, how could those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage.
Is this kid an idiot? How quaint. Are you serious? It's almost like you've barely even heard about this case until now. Are you sure you aren't hiding something? I'd read that civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses? Huh? Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you even traveled in an omnibus?
Well, no. We, only arrived in London this morning.
No matter. I've arranged for us all to see for ourselves the actual scene of the crime, that is.
What do you mean? The actual scene? How?
A carriage is destined to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much.
Yes?
The omnibus in which his bloody crime took place is here today, in this very building.
Here? What? Inside? The entire carriage?
Bailiff! Fetch the carriage! Bring forth the stricken omnibus!
God, this guy is extra, but like evil extra. Which I would be down for in most circumstances. So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing. They're huge and spacious.
As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers. 4 passengers seated inside the enclosed cabin and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of this city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above.
Ah, skylight. Oh, shit. Oh, man, that ruins my entire case.
The penny drops at last, I see. These 2 gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on the omnibus when the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident.
One is literally not moving and refuses to look at any of us. The other has an ill-fitting hat that's constantly falling over. Through the skylight. Ugh. That makes perfect sense. Shit.
Well, counsel, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced a crime scene itself be brought into the courtroom. There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence.
Yeah, let's take a good hard look inside of this, per se.
Very well.
Do it. Say it. Say words.
I knew it. I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence.
It's been entered as evidence. The 8-seater omnibus was a... Okay. Let's try and look inside then. I can't believe it. The entire crime scene was entered as evidence? Yes! Great Britain is simply extraordinary. I could help myself a lot by giving the omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's here.
Let us continue with proceedings, then. Your cross-examination, counsel. Pray, don't expect this Nipponese stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights.
Well, I've been cross-examined and cross-examined others, so go away. My first cross-examination in a British court. Bang! Focus, Ryunosuke. Focus! Alright, who we asking? Who we talking to? What the witnesses saw. It was the last bus of the evening, so I had a few... Oh, okay. They're just going over what they were saying. The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. And then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts. Let's press him on that. You actually saw the exact moment it happened?
Didn't I already testify to that?
Or are fair, drinkum, hard-working city bankers not considered trustworthy these days? Oh, no, I didn't mean that. This is no good. I've really got his back up. Perhaps you could just tell me what you saw in a little more detail, if that's...
My lord! Juror number 3, what's the meaning of this?
My mind is made up, my lord, completely and utterly made up. Made up about what? I don't like the stinking rich. Never have. They're always up to something, or there's something they shouldn't be. Every one of them. And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me. Bruh. Can you not, like... Is he allowed to do that? There's no point wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter anyway. You literally... That is precisely what I was about to say. As the foreman of the jury, it is my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors. Bruh. So we literally need to get the last 3 if they don't vote right now? Let me see. Ah, yes, it seems that's how the members of the jury give their verdicts. With fire? Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice as we... Like, but, like, are they... I mean, I know the law is still new everywhere in the world, but are they allowed to not even listen to the first, like... Didn't even open to, like, I feel like you should listen first, you know? Actually get more information instead of just, nah, guilty, immediately. So if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean, yeah, probably. Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm even more worried about it. I'm even more worried, man. Very well, the court acknowledges the change in the jury's stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. Bruh. This is a nightmare. So, at some point, one of them is going to vote no, and then we're going to need 3 white. I mean, as it stands right now, we need 3 white to get him off. I screamed, I did. I couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too. I'm assuming you went inside? So when it happened, the only 2 people in the enclosed cabin were the victim and the defendant. And 3 whole people witnessed the man I'm trying to defend do the deed. I don't like to be pessimistic, but we do seem to be in a rather difficult situation here. What am I supposed to think here? Is Mr. McGilded really innocent? Or could it be... Before we jump to conclusions, our first task should be to gather information. We need to understand the case much better than we do at the moment. Yes, you're absolutely right. Let's listen to those witness statements again, a little more carefully this time. Okay. Last bus of the evening, few customers. Okay, that makes sense. Victim and the man were sat next to each other. Next to each other? Were they next to each other? I thought they were across from each other.
Hold it!
And you saw them through the skylight in the roof of the carriage. That's right. When you sit on the top deck, the window's right there at your feet. There was a lamp on inside, so I had a pretty good view. The 2 of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. But there's not a shred of doubt in my mind that it was Mr. McGilded. Not even wearing the same colored gloves, man. How can you be so sure? Well, how can I put it politely? Mr. Gilded is a gentleman of rather small stature. I couldn't have mistaken him for anyone else. Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. There's no room for doubt here. I really wish there was. So we know that he didn't actually see their faces. The accused just reached over and plunged a knife into his guts. Okay. He stabbed him, screamed, couldn't help it. Can we actually look at these? There's a blood stain on the right glove. Let's just look at it. This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day of London. Well, nothing will come of grumbling now. No. By the way, is Mr. McGilded right-handed? Yes, I believe so. He was toying with the coin in his right hand a little earlier. Ah, pity. If only he'd be left-handed. I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really. That is very interesting, though. Because if he's right, like... You don't understand, that blood is literally right in the crux of the hand. So, if he's right-handed and he stabbed someone, would that get blood exactly where you're holding the knife? I don't think so. I don't think it would. I mean, there's nothing else we can click on here besides the blood. Is there anything inside? No? Nothing. Let's look at the other stuff. Let's examine it while we can. Oh my god, this whole thing is just chilling. Okay. Let's look at the bench itself. So this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London streets from up there. So people sit all the way up on bitter winter nights with the cold air rushing past them? And they have to pay money to do so? Brr, I can't imagine how cold it must feel. That just made me think of something horrible. Can you imagine being dragged around the city in the freezing cold as punishment? Perhaps that is the real price you pay to stay out late. You got that right. Well, let's look at the actual window. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly. That's not good for us. No, it's not. There's a ladder. I can't click on the ladder. Phoenix Wright Omnibus? Wait. Isn't Phoenix Wright the name of the original Ace Attorney? Why, like, is this just like a reference to him? Or like, did he exist beforehand? Or is that just a common name? There's a lamp. I can't click on anything on this side. I can click on this. Oh, nope, that's just taking me... Nope, it's just taking me back here. I thought I could click on that. I could not. Anything up front? No, nothing I can click on anyway. That means the only thing else I can click on is the door? Oh, can we actually go in? Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we? The scene of a murder. It's horrible. It's not bad. We've already been to the scene of multiple murders, Ryunosuke. Wow. This is pretty quaint. Wow, this angle is like impossible. Yeah, so you would have been up there, I guess. What's this? Ah, that's a poster for the Great Exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition. Ooh, the Crystal Tower. It's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event. I mean, that is cool. What's this? This seat has a handle, it seems. Oh, so someone was hiding in there, you say? I see you. This looks like all sorts of equipment that may be needed to keep the omnibus running. Feeding tubs, tools to repair wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. So it's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems. There doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to stow their luggage, that's for sure. Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyways. So, will that happen anytime? Yes. Yep. It's just showing me the same thing. Okay. Just wanted to make sure there was nothing else I could click on in there. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that will just take us to exit. That's some blood on the wall. Yep. I do sure like looking at the void of nothingness while we're inside the guest room. Not the guest room, the investigating room. Ah, that's a poster for the Great Exhibition. Oh, okay, so it's just the same thing. Okay, well, then that means literally... Well, I mean, I guess I could look at the skylight. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it? Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck. And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin, at least. Okay, so it can't be opened from inside the cabin. That's good to know. That'll probably come up somehow. Let's just investigate the actual blood now. That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victim's, obviously. Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck. Would you really stab somebody in full view of other passengers like that, I wonder? Well, it was after dark, and there was a lamp on in here, or so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything. So you say, so you say. Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. Okay. So... I don't think any of that will actually come up. Maybe it will. Oh, I mean, I feel like some of this definitely will come up. Whoop, just move my mouse around everywhere. Let me just make sure there's nothing else. Okay, let's just leave. Through the door! Have you seen enough? Let's step back outside then. Okay. Omnibus investigated. And we're sure there's no opening underneath. And doesn't look like it. Okay. Let's look at the... Oh, okay. So this one I can't actually do anything. Yeah, see, there's no blood around the handle. So, like, if he's right-handed and he stabbed him, and he's holding it right at the pommel, and there's blood on his glove, there would be blood right there, too. Let's look at this. I like how his name is actually just Mason. Like, well, I mean, I suppose a lot of people didn't, people that weren't nobility didn't really have last names in general. So he's just the nickname Mason. Stabbed once in the... Okay. Died of internal hemorrhaging. I gotcha. And then Kazuma's armband, which is integral to every case we're on. Okay. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too. Okay.
Hold it!
How much did you, like, stop it? What exactly did you see? Oh, well, sir, that would be the passenger, sir. Yes, collapsed on the floor he was. And by the passenger, obviously you're referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brick builder. And then the other passenger had that knife in his hand, like this. By the other passenger, obviously you're referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McGilded. And then he punched it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the... You saw him with the... You stopped the carriage. You stopped the carriage, went and took a look, and saw him stabbing him. Wasn't the reason why you stopped the carriage? Yeah, exactly, Ryunosuke. How... My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption. Ah, juror number 2, go on. Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman's word should be sacrosanct. However, those of us in service know we must accept hard truths. Wait, what are you about to do? Dispose of the rubbish. Cheese! No! I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime. Are you... I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-referenced all the facts. As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion. Bruh. Wait, does it have to be unanimous? I thought it was like, if there was a majority on one side, that was it. But if it has to be unanimous, 4 out of 6 who proposed a guilty verdict. Only 2 left. Okay, yeah, okay. It has to be unanimous. That's good. I just make the situation worse. Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark. I suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks may well fly. We mustn't give it hope. We'll uncover something that will give us a way to fight back. But... Alright. You got me. Susato-san. I'll keep trying. I can't give up. I have to know. For Kazuma's sake. Why else would I wear this sword and keep it in visible distance at all times? Okay. Let's hear your statements again. So when it happened, the only 2 people... Okay. And 3 people witnessed it. Yeah, so like... So... that was obviously, like, not... I'm so annoyed about that. I'm so annoyed that juror number 2 decided to just fucking throw down her thing. Because that was actually, like, key. The dude, he didn't see it. He stopped the carriage after that guy screamed, so he shouldn't have been able to see it because he was the one driving. Okay. Yep. We need more information. You are absolutely correct. Okay. Few customers. Victim, accused of, were sat next to each other in the bus. The accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts. Okay. Okay. Stabbed him. Screamed. Couldn't help it. Maybe there? Maybe I should just press him there? I'm not sure. He stabbed him, you say, and you were sitting up on the roof deck, were you? Yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing the little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I've been thinking about a new hat design, you see, so I was just gazing absentmindedly around. But then, I'd happened to look down through the skylight. It sticked right out of his belly, that huge gray knife. A grim sight indeed. Ah, that didn't help me at all. Don't do it. The jury will look like they're even more convinced my client did it than they were before. That appears to have made everyone even more dubious that Mr. Gilded is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions. Mr. First. Yes, sir. Is this the knife you saw? Oh, good grief. Yes, that's it. That very one, sir. Is that... Yes, counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart. If forgive my vampire references, it's in my nature. That is the blade of considerable size, counsel. It is. And furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. The letters M, which seems oddly familiar. Please no. M, for Magnus perhaps? Or McGilded possibly. Take your pick. It seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake. You don't know that. But there are M's everywhere. Yes. Like in Mason.
Objection!
This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. No, this weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused. Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, counsel. A largish knife that was found lodged in the victim's abdomen. Its quality and fancy ornamentations suggest it must be quite valuable. Let's go. Nope. Yep. You got that. Let's look at the knife. Okay. Oh man, oh wait. You were looking at it upside down. It could be a. It could be a W. An ornate letter M, undeniably Mr. Magnus McGilded's initial. And it's beautifully gilded too. It must be very valuable, I should think. What is it? Look at this M. If you turn it upside down, it's a W! This could change everything. A W? Yes, this is one of those, turnabout cases. I'm sure of it. I'm afraid I don't know it all. But what I am sure of is that this is an M. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, it does have, like, the swirl that would suggest that it starts at the lower side, so I guess you could possibly be right. Is there anything else I can click on? I mean, there's this entire backside, but I feel like it's just asking me to click on this again. It can't be asking me about the whole thing, right? Nothing at the end? Fine, let's just click here. That part is the sheath, isn't it? Yes. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, sorry, yeah, I just don't really like blades. Oh. Those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist. It's not a blade, it's Kazuma's soul! Oh god, that hurt. That sentence hurt. It hurt a lot. The blade. Kazuma's soul was in his blade and his headband. And now I have both of them. There's no sense delaying it. Let's see what the blade looks like. Ooh, that is certainly a blade. Okay, okay. Can I not actually click on anything now? Hello? I suppose I can click on the M again. I'm not... Oh, what? Oh, I can actually click on the blood. Looks a lot like blood. It surely is blood. The victims. An Englishman's blood looks a lot like Japanese blood. Did you think it wouldn't? Sorry, it's just that we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. I thought their blood might be blue or something. Yeah, I do understand. I suppose. I mean, this is fascinating evidence. Will this just say it? Yep, it's just gonna say W again. I still say it could be a W. It could have just started on the left side, or the left side that it's at now. This side. Whip, whip, woo. Nothing else. All right, let's try to go through here. Sat next to each other. Okay. So they already sat next to each other. Accused reached over and plunged the knife right into his guts. Sure, let's present the gloves? No, let's present the knife. Never mind, I have to press R.
Objection!
Let's just consider the implications of that statement for a moment, shall we? Nope, that was wrong. That was wrong. What implications, Counsel? Nothing strikes me about it. Ah, well, crap. Yep. Oh, God. He called me a name. The worst insult known to man. I don't even know what it means. Alright. Accused just reached over and plunged a knife into his guts. So it's not... I mean, I was going to see if it brought up a question about the knife. It would have been good if it had, but no. Stabbed him. Screamed I did. Couldn't help it. Stopped the bus, and then I saw it too. So there's something I'm missing here. There has to be something that I could do. They gave me the knife, so I feel like the knife is probably something. I'm gonna reach over and punch a knife. Hold on. Let's look and see what else we have. So there's the omnibus. There was the pool of blood. The dagger with the MW. The gloves with the blood right where it holds. Victim of the photograph. Actually, we should probably use that photo of something. Reached out of the blue. I'm pretty sure I already pressed him on this. Couldn't help it. Okay, let's press on this again. Yes, collapsed he was. Yep, you're talking about him. Yep, talking about the victim. Can I not, like, do anything? Oh, wait. Oh, wait, should I be... Oh, my God, I feel like I should maybe be paying attention to them when everyone talks.
Excuse me!
If I may, Mr. Fairplay, what are you frolicking for now? That last statement appears to have given you a pause for thought. I pressed space. Oh, God, I was just pressing space to continue the... You always seem to be looking to the side one way or another. Do you have some affliction? Not really. He's not really willing to say anything, it seems. It's none of your business anyhow. Okay, so I need to go back through. And this time, I'll pay attention to other people's reactions. I was really hoping that the old man would have said something. Okay, so... Oh, okay. I can't actually look around here. I can only look around when I'm pressing them on something. Okay. The victim and accused for killing were sat next to each other on the bus. Okay, let's... I don't know. Because he just seems so confident in it. Let's... First kind of seems like the weak link, so I will press him on this. Okay. Let's look at these two. Are you guys being any suspicious? Can I just click? No, I have to go back. Seeing little gent sitting next to the fellow. Thinking about a new hat design, you see, so I was just gazing absentmindedly around. Any of you reacting?
Excuse me.
Oh god, no! I'm so used to pressing space that I'm trying to press space to continue the conversation. It won't let me continue the conversation. He has a condition and he's not willing to say. Not willing to tell us any information at all. Okay. Let's just press you on that right away. And now I'll just pay attention to what the other people are saying. Collapsed on the floor, he was. Okay.
Excuse me.
Ah! I keep doing it! I keep doing it! I have to not press space. I just need to take my hand completely off the space bar. No, he doesn't have an inflection, and even if he did, he would not like to tell us. Okay. One more time. Okay. There we go. There we go. Yep, I'm aware. I'm aware of the circumstances. I think I'm aware of how to play the game. I've had 2 tutorial cases. Okay. And this was the end. Okay, so let's press on that. Look around, and this time... Okay, passenger collapsed on the floor. And passenger, it's him. Yep. Passenger had the knife in his hand like this. Now we look around. You two looking any different? Looking any different, maybe? They're not looking any different. Mr. McGilded plunged it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly. You two reacting at all? They're not reacting at all. Okay. The law knows no philanthropies, only the innocent and the guilty. Good deeds mean nothing. Live, light, awake. Shut up, Power. Shut up. I know how to play the game. I am aware of how to play the game. It's just that I unfortunately have no idea what I'm doing is the problem. It is most certainly a problem for me, at least. Good deeds mean nothing when overshadowed by evil. The truth is everything. Couldn't agree more, sir. The truth. Eh? Either of you reacting, huh? Either of you punks reacting to him saying it's the truth? No? Damn it. Alright, I'm just gonna have to, like, press them on every single thing. I'm trapped here for some reason. Okay. Last bus of the evening. Okay. What you claim to remember something. I don't think you do. Oh, yes, sir. That's right, sir. Yes, even so cold it was. Freezing, in fact. And you had 4 passengers on board at the time. Is that correct? Yes, that's right, sir. Not all traveling in the same parts of the bus, of course, though, no. And there were no other passengers when the incident took place? No one alighted, for example? You're quite right with that, sir. No other passengers like that? No, none. So nobody fled the scene of the crime, then? half does it say the boss insists on running it? He does every evening, that last bus of the day. You know, I should have been paying attention to them the entire time he's been talking. But I do sometimes wonder if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, sorry to say. You two have anything to say, huh? Huh, you punks? What do you mean by that? Well, what with it being so cold and everything, and only making 20 pence on the run, you see. Yes, I spend that much at the pub on the way home, just trying to warm up again. Oh, this poor man's. No one's blaming you, Beepo. I can't believe it, sir. I can't believe it. A murder on my own boss. It's too awful to think about. I haven't been able to shake this cold ever since it happened. Man, you are, like, shivering. My lord, I wish to speak. Yes, juror number 5, do I take it that you too? As the master of the London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of a murder being committed in one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing the facts, though, I said to myself. But facts be damned. I've heard enough now. The horse is bolted, as they say. No, please, just keep an open mind a little. Gee up now, Silver Blaze. It's a very... Well, damn. That's about to touch the table. Beppo is log steady member again. Not trust what the man says. Oh, thank you, sir. You're too kind, sir. What do you mean? How can you have a jury who knows one of the not the prosecutors, one of the witnesses? That's tampering. You're not allowed to do that. Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man. Literally only one left, the kind old granny to convince. Madame Juror number 6. Yes, dear, what can I do for you? You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand. Oh, yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know. Then, pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning? Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me. I always go to the park at around this time of day and sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting. So we have until you finish your mittens. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. McGilded Park, it's called. Oh. The gentleman donated it to the city, you know, to put a smile on Londoners' faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have had it in him to take another man's life. He's always doing wonderful things for the city. That's right, a man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely. Mother, may we go to the McGilded Public Library after and borrow some more books? How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know? What kind of a man Magnus McGilded really is? What kind of a man is he? The philanthropist Magnus McGilded has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. But where did all that wealth come from? Your client is a Shylock, sir, and one of the very darkest of souls. What? Stone the crows! McGilded lends money at an extortionate. Oh my god, I cannot read today. I am sorry, Acolights. I'm trying to fix my headphones as well. They're just all in a bundle, awfully. McGilded lends money at extortionate rates of interest, so his victims have no hope of repaying him. Then they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He's a vulture that preys on the weak. I've never heard of any mention of that before. Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madame. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service? You're not saying that the victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name save considerable financial liability. It will come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McGilded.
But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debts. Good gracious! The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him, his life. By the merciless... But, Zeeks, your argument makes no sense. How, if he's so, concerned with getting the money, he wouldn't just kill him. If he kills him, he wouldn't get the money back at all. I don't believe it. Yeah. If I might add something to briefly... Miss Susato? You claim the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilded, but where's the evidence to support your claim? Right here, of course. Just let me drink some wine. Gotta get my blood on, you see. It's a condition I have. Pray, forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice in a court of law. Aha, there it is! Lord Van Zeek's hallowed chalice! He's pulling it out! He pulled out the chalice, everyone! How can this be considered acceptable? But I find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I had heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself. As judicial assistant to the defense, I am simply doing my job. What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You find the victim's name clearly recorded inside. Oh, shit. Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time. A toast to Japan, everyone! A marvelous toast, Council. I will gladly accept this new evidence. Whatever you say. You know, everyone... I saw some things about the original Ace Attorney games, and the consensus was that they're all bad at law. It's just that they're... everyone is an idiot except for Phoenix Wright, is essentially how I've been, it's been described to me. Nobody knows what they're doing, and Phoenix Wright is just that doesn't make sense. Does it? Think about it. Just a little bit. How does that make sense? And everyone's like, oh my god, you're right, Phoenix. You're always right. I can't believe we didn't listen to you from the get-go. Doesn't matter now, though. He's not here. And nobody listens to Ryunosuke. Alright, it's time to look at this thing. Ah, yes, 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum. How much is a guinea worth? And the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense. Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes. Regrettably, madam, that is the modus operandi of the accused. And it's such a pretty little park, too. What a scoundrel! Bruh. Still. No! Maybe it's all for the best. No, wait a minute. No, let's think about it. Yeah. I don't stand for nonsense. Did I just fail? Was that, supposed to happen, or did I just, fuck up? Crap. That was it. The last juror's decision. What's happening now, Susato? What happens? You got something for me? According to this Encyclopedia of British Law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here. Final verdict. Oh! Well, is there something? There's a footnote, though. A footnote, you say? Why? What could it say? However, the defense... All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement with this case. I find the defendant guilty and shall be hanged thus immediately, in the courtroom. Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision. According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections. Ryunosuke, she literally just told you an out. Object, man. Mr. Sato, just tell me one thing. Oh, yes? You were in the middle of saying something before. The footnote in your Encyclopedia of British Law. However, the defense...
What did it say next? Yeah, can we actually do anything? Oh, yes, of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended. Presiding judge will deliver the final verdict. Footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point. They have to tell us They have to tell us what happened. They haven't been paying attention. They haven't been paying attention whatsoever. A summation examination? From which century has that tome you've there been resurrected? Ah! Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic, long forgotten and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck. Oh. It's still law. What even is it, Mr. Sato? This so-called summation examination. Oh, one moment, and I'll read about it. Give me the deets. You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails? Typical Nipponese. Alright, Mr. Naruhodo, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we will be able to appeal to the members of the jury. To do what, exactly? Appeal to them to change their leaning and reverse their decisions. It says here that, if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed. Make them reverse their decisions? Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But that procedure becomes something of a formality with no practical benefit, really, so it rather fell out of use. I wonder why. Because it was devoid of purpose. Once people make up their mind, they're not likely to change it, you know. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert has right to try in this day and age. Still, we're gonna try it. It's the only thing we can do. I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. Ugh! Shit! Done in by the law! I can't believe the law would betray me like this. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? It's all we got. We gotta do it. A summation examination, our last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out, or... Bruh, why would we not? We're asserting the right. Come on! The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord. London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried. No, they're not. But if it's our right, it's our right. I believe it could prove vital in this trial. The defense's petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination. Madness. Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready? I'm not, there was no mention of this in the letter I received, you see, so... All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision. On what grounds? You must all justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty. Well, my lord, you're rather putting us on the spot. This is most irregular. No mention was made of this before. I don't really hold with all this justifying lark. She's just typing. That seems to have thrown the jurors off. It seems none of them have experienced this before. All right then, the summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we've been looking for, to turn this trial around. So be it then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. The court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant, Magnus McGilded, guilty of this most serious crime. Can I, challenge them? Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions. There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him. Can I actually do anything here? I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence. 4 passengers. But, like, wasn't... Oh, no, okay. I forgot that the murdered guy does count as a passenger. Mag? Mag. You got a mag on him, Power. Okay. He stuck the champ next to him, just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen. Can I actually present any of these? I can't. I have simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion. You can't trust the guild. Fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised the prices above 4 pence for years. The scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor, it beggars belief. Yep. I'm starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now. Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, though, do they? Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. I have to throw everything I can at them and use some very persuasive language. Just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. You got something else? You got something else for me, Sasato? Please tell me you do. That's not quite how it works. Oh? I thought I was going to have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant. Nope, we gotta present evidence. They're unlikely to heed anything the defense says. But then, they've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become. Then what on earth am I supposed to do? Oh dear, I'm just citing what I've read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo. Right, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell. Do you have any idea how to make this work then? Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the jurors' own words to make your arguments. What do you mean? The 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers who just so happen to find themselves here in a courtroom together. And that's the way to break them down, you mean? Oh, that's me. Yes, exactly. We must listen very careful to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. If we can, we then contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other. Oh, okay. So it's contradictions in what 2 or more jurors say that we're looking for. This is similar to regular cross-examination. Oh, yes, I suppose you're right. Okay. Find the contradictions in their statements and pit the jurors against one another to break them down. Yeah, I can do that. I think I can do that. I mean, at least I hope I can. Slap myself. Come on, Ryunosuke. You have to pull it off. Start proceedings, counsel. I would ask you to take the stand for this. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal. Yes, my lord. I got this. Just repeat everything you just said, please. Jury examination. The defense's rebuttal. There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him.
Hold it!
Okay. Well, I mean, we know... Certainly, the testimonies we've heard suggest the victim and Mr. McGilded were alone inside the carriage. Precisely my point. But, could there be some other explanation? Something we haven't considered yet? Such as? I don't know. Perhaps there's something we could, all work out together now. Now listen here, maybe you don't know how things work around here because you're from foreign climes. Whoop, sorry, pause there for a sec. But we're here to form our opinions as individuals, and I have. Okay. Oh dear, he doesn't appear to be in the mood to consider an alternate point of view, does he? No, I'm gonna have to pit the jurors against one another, like Susato-san said. Okay. Finding contradictions in these 6 people's assertion is the only way I'm going to succeed. I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, he seems. 4 passengers, 20 pence each. 20 pence. Hold on. 20 pence. This guy also mentioned how much it was. 4 pence? Oh, we are pitting these 2 against each other. Oh my god, I could just flip through them like this? Stabbing the poor man on the floor. Stabbed him next to... Okay, so it's these 2 jurors who said opposite things, and then it's the knife and the grandma who said opposite things. Okay. Yes. Hey, you 2 are saying different things.
They do? Explain yourself, Counsel.
Me? Oh dear, what have I said?
I swear I have the first idea what you're talking about.
According to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus in the night in question. And according to the coachman, Mr. Beepo, he took 20 pence in fares. Quite right. I have those precise details typed neatly here in front of me. And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence.
That it is. A fair and convenient single price. Just the way London's carriages should be operated.
But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts.
Why, man, why?
4 passengers paying 4 pence each, if you do the multiplication, it would be 16 pence. Exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely 1 person's fare.
1 person's fare?
Yes! In other words, on the omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible there was another passenger we've heard nothing about.
Good gracious!
Yeah, it doesn't add up if they were all 4 pence. What do you mean? What do you mean? 4 pence each. Can't all be on there, right? Come on. Admit to it. Admit. It's up.
The coachman of the guild are good honest men, once and all. Trustworthiness is our watchword.
The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news were surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets nefarious characters ride his omnibus.
Brr. All right then, how do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end,
Oh, well, that's simple. You simply have to vote not guilty. Yeah, how does he do it? You simply launch a ball of fire into the innocent side of the set of scales.
Now hold your horses there, coachman. We were all in agreement. Why do you have to go and... Doesn't matter to me. Wait till I get my hands on you, Bippo. Bang.
Haha! Trial continue! Screw off with your prejudging. I hate that they got to vote before we even said anything. Begging your pardon, sir, I'm going to do the same. Ooh, yeah! We got a game on our hands! They don't think it's just him anymore.
For the love of Mike, not you as well.
A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters.
Oh, really?
I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again. Yes. Well done, Mr. Naruto, you did it. If we can manage to change 2 more jurors' minds, we can force the trial to continue. 2 more, actually. There is something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions, like how he was stabbed, for instance. Wow, they're really... Yep, we gotta pit them together. Yep, I understand. Let's get it done. I know exactly who we're targeting. We're targeting the ne'er-do-well and the grandma. They both say he was stabbed, but they have no idea how they were stabbed. Nope. Okay. He struck the trap right next to him like this. Brazenly, I must say. Absolutely brazen. It's you. And... the scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor. It beggars belief. You.
Objection.
Fight! Fight for my entertainment! Those 2 statements are completely contradictory.
What? Explain, counsel, post haste.
Oh, dearie me, I was only knitting a jumper for my other half. What's all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, I ask you? We've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3. What? Can't you see that I'm busy here? Well, how would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it? Ha! Want me to test me, shoot? It was like this. Stuck the fellow next to him without even giving up, just like the prim banker said.
Yes, that was what Mr. Fairplay said. Quite true.
Now then, juror number 6.
Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do for you, young man?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madame?
Oh, well, dear me, as far as I understand it, it was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so.
Now don't move! Take a look at those 2 jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor.
Well, I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions.
What? Bless my stitches! What a muddle!
What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth.
Oh! But why? Why the dickens would they lie?
I don't know that yet, but what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out, and we may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience?
Lies, you say? Oh, dearie me. I can't abide people telling lies.
Good job, good job, good job, Grandma. It's even. It's even now.
I don't believe her.
Yeah, that's right. Trial has to continue, you punks.
Wait! Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him in his black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on us all.
Ah, the racism. I'm familiar with this. If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this?
Answer me this, Dark Jinx.
What? Me?
What exactly is the problem? What of it if 2 witnesses have slightly different recollections of events?
What of it?
Let's say the Shylock did stab the victim as he was sat next to him on the omnibus, and this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor, and then the Shylock stabbed him again. This old lady saw him do it. Well, let's say it didn't happen like that,
Who you calling a dandy, sir? Why, I should take this knife to you.
Who you calling old? Why, I should take this needle to you.
They're ready to kill each other now. Well, but could the foreman of the jury be right? Did the 2 witnesses see 2 different moments of the same crime? Out of the question. Not possible. Yeah, you shake your head. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman.
What is it, you Dark Jinx? Come on, out with it.
What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question.
What? What are you
Ooh, sorry, I had to burp there.
What are you talking about, man? How could you possibly say that? You do realize that I'm only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction.
But what if that direction is wrong?
So where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say the 2 witnesses saw 2 different moments of the same crime. Say it's out of the question. Show me some proof.
Okay. As it turns out, there's a picture of him sitting in the carriage! If you had been paying attention to the goddamn case, you would have known that! What? Yeah, I'll give you the proof. It's in the proof we have. It's out of the question. Yep. As proven by the photograph. If he was stabbed on the floor, why is he sitting up in this picture? This clear piece of evidence. Well, Mr. Foreman?
Do you know what they say about me, young man? They say I've got no powers of persuasion.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry to hear that.
But no one will need persuading me about this. You're even worse than me.
What? That was wrong? 2 different moments. If he was stabbed on the ground, why is he in the chair in the photo? We have evidence that clearly contradicts that possibility. I mean, I thought it was that, but apparently not. 2 different moments. The omnibus? Did we ever actually examine this? I don't think we did. Let's open it. This portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets of London's gentry. Oh dear, do you really think we ought to look inside? Well, it's not as though we know any of London's gentry personally, is it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps. Let's hope Sholmes isn't actually in here. I assure you we will not find Mr. Sholmes' name inside. Well, let's see what we find. Open sesame! What is this? That's a lot of chicken scratch. Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it? Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off. Ah, goodness! What is it? Look at this! Do you see the name here? Bruce Fairplay. Oh my god, that's... Yo! That's a... I should have looked at this sooner! Bruce Fairplay is the name of one of the witnesses. Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying at this very moment. Oh, yeah, of course, the banker. Why is his name in here? Oh, you know, he's looking to the right because he's hiding something on the right side of his face, I bet. And look, the repayment date is fast approaching. It's possible, but this is just a coincidence, of course. But this could be very useful information. Woo! Who would have to pay his loan immediately? What was the question? It's out of question that the two witnesses saw two different moments proven by... I don't know. The gloves? Oh, single stab wound to the abdomen. Oh, okay. It says single stab wound, so that should be pretty definitive. This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen. Only once. Ah! Only once! It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen at two different times. Yeah. Alright. I concede defeat. Woo! Yeah! Trial on! Trial on. Wait, that means 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty. We've done it, Mr. Naruhodo. We've won! At least, well, no, we haven't won. What are you playing at, you dandy fool? Shut your traps, sir. No one deceives me. But we had a consensus. I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. And if the chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor-sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head. Please tell me he's a barber. Well, in a quite remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there's no longer a large enough majority among the jurors for me to adjudicate, and the trial must continue. Yeah! I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places, and I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth. So, Lord Van Zeeks, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please. Man, look at that. You could tell he's a wine aficionado because he's doing, like, the very slow, like, stirs, I guess? When you wave your hand like that, you're stirring the... Oh my god, he just crushed it! Having savored the rich aroma of the carmine contents of this hallowed chalice, it may seem crass to crush it to dust. Pray, forgive the discourtesy. Lord Van Zeeks! Brr, is it cold in here, or is it just me? As your antiquated tomes no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during a summation examination, so I honored a deathly silence and listened to the charade. It seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury. Yeah. Well, no matter. There is nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth, it would seem. No, and why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. Ha! Oh my god, cloak is coming off. Bring forth the witnesses once more. There they are. Ooh. Witnesses, I trust you heard the summation examination we have just had to endure.
Oh, yes, sir, that I did, sir.
Of course I heard it. Ah, yes, sir, I heard it. You, sir, are on the end, the coachman. I believe it's Beppo.
Yes, sir, my lord, sir.
If it transpires that you in your previous testimony, you were attempting to veil the presence of a fifth passenger on your omnibus, you would be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind, sir.
Oh, mío tío.
He's Spanish. Oh, I didn't know that.
Now then, witnesses, I thereby call you to testify before the court again. You will explain the various misgivings brought to your attention by the defense's summation examination.
Witness testimony. Various misgivings. Okay. Wait, where? Is there anything? Okay. That said, Acolights, my throat is very tired. I will say the prosecution's voice is a bit harder for me to do. I'll probably choose a softer voice for him next time, just so I can play for a bit longer. But I don't want my throat to actually tear itself or anything. That said, I will bid you all adieu a bit early tonight. That's all right. I'll continue another 3-hour stream next week. Ideally, we can just shoot through the entire trial in one stream. All right. Hope you guys have a good night. And as always, do your best to be kind. Just a little bit. All right. Talk to you later.